Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's boardzy, and this is going to be a review of the refreshed Endgame Gear OP1 lineup, both the 8K wired V2 and the 4K wireless V2. That was the V1, failed the test. And yeah, this is really very similar to the original version. There's not a lot new to say. If you are a fan of the OP1, this is going to feel extremely familiar, down to the weight. Normally with a V2, you do see some type of weight decrease. Yeah, in this case, it's the same 58.5 gram advertised weight on the wireless. Mine comes in at 57 with these X-ray pad dot skates. I do feel like Endgame Gear stock skates are pretty lackluster, but they also made a change to the adhesive where they peel off much smoother now. And the wired version does come in at 51 grams. I think it is an objectively nicer weight. Like, it has a less dense feeling, which is pretty big considering the small shape. I don't get any feeling of like tug when I switch directions, but maybe there's a ton of positive feedback with this weight for people who want a small mouse that does have some weight to it. Yeah, if you've watched my previous videos on Endgame Gear, you know that I just prefer the XM2 shape, so this release isn't going to lead me to use the OP1 anymore. Like, it's still too small of a shape for me to claw, and for fingertip, I still prefer lighter options, but it does give me some excitement for the XM2 with the same like under the hood spec changes, which is I guess what I should get to now. Basically, the sensor is a 3950, and I also vouched Endgame Gear's 3395 4K implementation in the past, but the thing with the 3950 is it does have access to more features, and running 2 and 4K without power saving in competition mode, true high speed mode, whatever the company calls it, it does lead to a more clean, like one-to-one input feeling, and Endgame Gear's firmware with the wireless, it is good. And yeah, without a doubt, I put Endgame Gear in the top tier of wireless feeling, but I know people are going to ask how it compares to the previous 4K version, and it's not going to be like a night and day difference in your performance. I mean, these mice, they look identical, they feel identical in terms of like buttons and quality. It really is just a spec upgrade. It's like the same retail price at 120, so it's really this is just the newer version of the OP1. If you've still been holding out with an OP1w, for the love of God, just like get yourself a new mouse. But if you do have an OP1 4K you're satisfied with, it's not a necessary upgrade. It's really, you'd have to be like the OP1's biggest fan. But a lot of people are, like, people go crazy about this mouse. Yeah, this is still the stereotypical aimer mouse, so if you are highly skilled, like you have a good monitor and a good setup, you can pick up sensor differences, this could be worthwhile. There are minor features like adjusting the LOD in increments of 0.1, sensor angle tuning, and the specific glass mode for the 3950. So for some people, I'm sure those are like worthwhile features. Nothing that we haven't seen before though, and yeah, Endgame Gear, they're a company that has always been focused on quality, and that's what this is. It's a quality refresh. This is not it doesn't fundamentally change the OP1. They're still using the Kale GX switches, and the feeling is the same. The quality is amazing. It's a very crisp, fast, like low travel, quick rebound, just an excellent switch. And yeah, they still have GX speed mode and GX safe mode. I've always noticed, as somebody who resets my mouse a lot, even with the slam click filter, that I will get a lot of accidental presses when I use GX speed mode, but GX safe has always been fine for me, clicking scenarios, Fortnite, really whatever. So yeah, the click latency performance of this mouse, that is not going to be called into question. So yeah, it is something I'm curious of. If you've used Endgame Gear mice for a long time and use GX speed mode, like, how is the reliability of it? Has it gotten worse over time? Do you notice accidental presses? Anything like that. But yeah, definitely some of the best performing mice out there, and people always wonder why they don't have 8K wireless, and essentially, in order to get 8K, you had to do these like error correction tricks that everybody in the industry just copied from Razer, and it wasn't like a true 8K polling, which is why some serious companies, or as I say serious, like companies like Endgame Gear, Vaxi, Zowie, they opted to not do 8K if they were going to have to do it in a like, kind of shoddy way. So they will probably have 8K implementations the next refresh down the line. And yeah, that of course is only referring to wireless. The OP1 8K, that's about as real as it gets. And yeah, what is there to mention with this mouse? Honestly, if I was an OP1 guy, I would probably main this. I would put up with the wire just in exchange for the better weight. I say put up with the wire like it's some type of trash wire. It's actually, it's very flexible, good out of the box, but I've never met a wire that gets more flexible over time as opposed to more stiff over time. But yeah, I'm sure if you get a bungee setup, like, yes, this would be excellent. Some low sense people will complain and cry. Okay, then get like the wireless version. I don't really know what to say. This is the OP1, and it is here to stay. It's a little rhyme. They changed the encoder. Honestly, if I didn't see that on the website, I doubt I would have noticed. It's a bit more like of a rigid kind of tactile feeling compared to before. But like, okay, it's similar level of force to activate the click, and yeah, the switches for the side buttons are still KALE 2.0s. Like, it is a full-size main side button switch, which obviously does add to the weight, but it is a unique feature. These do have a very sharp feeling. Like, the clicks, I would call them crisp, but these, they're like sharp, pointed. They protrude well. So yeah, I mean, this is a good mouse. It's just not something I'm going to use a lot. But yeah, it's obviously not a knock on the level of these releases. It's just, I know how I feel about the OP1 8K. The wired version at $90 is a really good mouse, under $100. Like, possibly the best. It's not the best small mouse, like, period, because let's say you want the ATK F1 Extreme, like a 35-gram small claw mouse. That's an option. But yeah, like, performance, quality, reliability, this is definitely a good vouch. You never have to worry about battery, like, power saving features. And yeah, the wireless at 120, it's a bit cheaper than like Vaxi, Zowie, some main brand like flagship options, in line with like Pulsar, Lamzu releases. I feel like you always get what you pay for with Endgame gear. I do still wish it was a handful of grams lighter, no doubt. So yeah, these will maintain their seal of approval status, quality, coding, just like all these things not even worth mentioning. It's just the Endgame gear standard. Any questions you guys have about these releases, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I meant to mention this earlier. Obviously, there were not any creaking, like flexing, rattling issues on my units, but I know there is a Dark Frost version, which does have a translucent shell, which has had some issues in the past, so I was not sure. I'm not sure how quality is on that one. I can give a vouch to the white and black colorways, though. Like and sub if you enjoyed the videos. Peace out.